second person to be interviewed on my broadcast channel. Thank you for joining me.
Really glad you invited me. I'm going to be honest with you. It's actually a really big deal for you to invite me, in my opinion.
You know why it's a big deal? Because it benefits both of us.
Well, yeah, that's a definite plus. I mean, I was looking at it as we've been kind of conversing lightly through Instagram, and you actually thought of me to ask, and to me, that was a really big deal. The benefit is
I'm
great
glad
also,
you
of course.
appreciate that, and I appreciate you joining me right now because actually there's a lot of viewers that don't feel comfortable speaking live, broadcasting to everyone throughout the whole world because there are parts of the world that don't have this feature yet. It's still in beta testing, mainly here in the U.S., and hopefully in the next few months we'll get other viewers to be able to connect with that I'll be able to share the same broadcast with. Because also I can share 2 more screens on this broadcast with two more, a total of 4 individuals.
So we could have like a whole panel talking together. Nice.
Yes. We can have
that. Could be really interesting really fast.
So yeah, and actually they're thinking about expanding it to more, possibly 10 to 12. So if that does happen, our faces will be really small on the screen up here.
I don't think that's a bad thing in my case. I tell everybody there's a reason why I'm behind the camera, not in front of it.
Right, so, and this is another opportunity for you to expose yourself in front of the behind the camera, or in front of the camera, I'm sorry, showing the viewers who you are. Because actually, I had to look through your profile and hunt you down, but I saw on one of your stories, it has your profile on there, your face.
Yeah, I tend to not put my face anywhere on my business because...
Why is that?
The way I look at it, well, you know, the way I look at it is like this. I'm a photographer. My whole job is behind the camera. And I originally looked at it as I don't really want people to get caught up with this because that's not what I'm selling. You know, that's not my business.
That's correct. But also, then again, people need to know who's that person behind the camera that creates all these photos. And
I figured that out after a little while.
That's why I make a point to broadcast live, broadcast a lot of stories with my face on the photos and on the videos, on the stories, and this way they know who I am. A lot of people don't know who I am, even to this day. So you have to continually reinforce that through all the different media.
Yeah, you do. It's just not something that I think of so much. Because, like, what always throws me back is there was a model here in Las Vegas. Her name is Joey. Her IG is Filipina Latina.
Okay.
And she was one of the first professional collabs that I did.
Oh, really? How long ago was this?
This was like 5 years ago, maybe 6. It was before COVID.
Okay.
So we had spoken through Instagram and everything, didn't exchange personal information like phone numbers. And whenever we wrapped it up, we were like, okay, I'll meet you at Starbucks at so-and-so time. And, you know, I'll get you a coffee. We'll talk about whatever and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So obviously I know what she looks like. But she didn't know what I look like.
Exactly. So,
yeah, I just show up and I'm like, hey, I'll get whatever she's having. Or I'll get her coffee, whatever she's drinking. And she just looked at me like, that's really nice, but I'm actually waiting for somebody. And I was like...
And she was waiting for you.
You're waiting for me. And that's exactly what I said. And she was like, I don't know you. You're cute and all, but, you know, you give me kind of a weird... No, I'm the Angel of Sin City photographer. I'm the photographer that you... Oh, I had no idea.
See?
We should have got a picture of you.
That is true. So I'm suggesting that you actually post things with your face and stories with your face more
Yeah.
often. This way people can associate you with your photography.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do more stories because I have OCD, as a lot of photographers do.
Right.
And, the thing is, I like to keep all of my posts very uniform,
Oh,
you
you
know?
do?
Yeah. Even though it looks like a big, just cluster jumble, it's actually extremely organized.
Really?
So, if anything, I would probably just like every couple days do something with a story that has my
Yeah.
face on it,
Yes.
something like that. A lot of times it's just the BTS that has my face on
Actually,
it, and that's
a
it.
lot of the viewers like the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Actually, recently I've had a lot of requests, and it's very high on the list. It came out to like 40%, like
yeah.
the behind the scenes.
They like it because in their minds, this is like the hidden door. This is
Yes,
stuff that we're not supposed to really get to see here.
that's what they want to
So,
see. And actually, our
yeah.
viewers want this information. This information is vital to them growing their Instagram
Oh, yeah.
and also making them better at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were all once there at one time, you and I both.
Yeah.
And, I started out with 5, 10 followers in the beginning, and then slowly it creeped up.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, back in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
I had a solid built Instagram account, and it was hacked. I
Mm-hmm.
had 9,500 followers, and no matter what I did, even I communicated with Instagram, told them that I was hacked. They didn't really do much, and most
No.
of the photos that were on there were either of me or photos that I took.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I look at that account, and he's dropped his follower accounts from 9,500 down to 7,000, but it's still high.
Yeah,
For
that's
not an
that's
active
more than I.
account.
So yeah.
It's an act. It's not even an active account, and it has all my postings on there still.
How many posts
So,
did you have? I have to ask. I'm sorry.
oh, I was almost 2,000 or over 2,000
Wow.
postings. Right now, at this current Instagram account that I have, it's almost at 1,000. It's 990 something.
Yeah.
I think it's within 10 more postings to reach 1,000.
Wow. See, that's what would really get to me more than anything.
You know
Because
what? You're right.
yeah,
Because a lot of the photos I did not save. I have no more records of it.
yeah. See, what I do is whenever I do a shoot, I back up every photo that I take and I keep it there. And I always have it. And I keep so many photos in my Lightroom and I delete as I post. That way I don't repost the same
That's
photos.
good.
So yeah.
I don't know if you noticed my posting today on the stories. It mentioned try to avoid reposting any of
Yeah,
your photos.
I did see that
Because
actually.
apparently it won't reach its potential if you repost.
Yeah. See, that's another problem that I'm having though, and I'm trying to find people that or a business, something even that could help with it. I think I'm kind of shadow banned because
Oh, there's a
like
lot of photographers that say that they're shadow banned
I
also.
think so because I have like I think a little over 5,000 followers, but
Okay.
when I look at my insight, it shows that my photo was only showed to like 60 people.
Oh,
But I got 15 likes, but it's 60 people. So,
okay.
yeah, that's not very good.
So I'm gonna give you some information. I've been researching the Instagram algorithms,
Okay.
and the way these algorithms work, they have it to where they want you to like as many photos and postings out there as the people that you follow. They don't want too much where you're constantly just going like on everything. You just got to go through your followings and go through, and ones that you like it. Because if you don't send out a like, Instagram will shadow ban you.
Well, I actually like a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see everybody, but whenever I see something I like it. Because first and foremost, I'm a big believer in, everybody helping each other.
Right.
And our likes really do help to grow our accounts.
Yeah. But more importantly than likes, viewing the reels. And actually, from what I was reading a couple days ago, if on your account, if you put on your account that I'm a very good friend, it'll bump me up as far as my profile on the Instagram status. It'll bump it up.
Like,
and the more friends that I have that are really good friends, it'll bump it up even more.
Oh, you mean like that friends list?
The friends list. Yeah. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for joining. Catherine, hi, this is Angelo. We're having an interview on my broadcast channel. He's from Las Vegas. Catherine, I've done a photo shoot with her. How many years ago was that photo shoot, Catherine? I'm thinking it was probably 6 years ago, 6 or 7. And Catherine's from Canada.
Oh, I love Canada. There we go, Catherine Melville. I've actually been there a couple of times.
Canada. So, Catherine, I will definitely want to talk to you in a little bit. Pre-COVID, yes, it was pre-COVID. I was thinking it was more like 2019, 2018. She came down here to San Diego, and we set up a photo shoot with her at the Lowe's Hotel. I don't know if you've ever been down to San Diego before. It's a real nice area.
I've been there a few times for some shoots, so
Have you?
But I didn't really get to explore too much. Like, I went to the Gaslight District.
Oh, that's very busy down there.
What is it? Balboa Park.
Balboa Park's nice, and it's busy too.
Yeah.
Actually, where I like to shoot, it's not that busy. Actually, one of not our photographers, but one of our models, her name is Kimberly. She invited me to do a photo shoot with her down there, and after I went for the first time, I've been back there probably more than a dozen times because the light is so good.
It's great.
So Catherine is from Toronto.
God bless you. Sorry,
Have you
somebody sneezed in the background, so automatically to me. God bless you.
It is scenic and a health and wellness retreat. Okay.
That's nice.
Great. So, Catherine, have you been down to San Diego since the last time I seen you?
It'll take her a moment to type.
Yeah, because she's going to have to type it in.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, as far as shadow banding, yeah, Coronado was the last place that we did that photo shoot. And actually, that photo shoot is where I do a lot of photo shoots currently. And actually, I had a photo shoot scheduled this Friday, but I had to cancel it because I'm going up to Las Vegas this week. I'll be leaving tomorrow. I'm going to visit my house. I have a home out there.
I remember you saying something like that. Yeah.
And I'll be going up tomorrow after my wife gets off work. We'll be driving straight up. We'll be there until Friday.
Nice.
But I go every month to a month and a half. Actually, the last time I was out there was back in June.
Okay.
Yeah, back in June.
It's not bad.
So Catherine
you got it.
hasn't been back to San Diego since 2020. That was around COVID time.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I tried to have a peaceful area, but I couldn't. Sorry.
You do that.
That's okay.
I'll do what I can. No, but it's actually turned out to be a great summer by Las Vegas standards.
Oh, it was hot. I was looking at the temperature for last
Yeah,
month.
we were setting
120.
records.
Because
But
actually last year, the hottest it was when I was out there was 116.
Yeah.
And that was so hot.
it was terrible. It went up to 117, which was a personal record for me.
Really?
And about a month ago, I think, we set an all-time Las Vegas record at 120.
Wow.
But the thing of it is, now it's like the temperature is going in double digits at night,
That's good.
which normally, yeah, that's great. Because normally we don't see double digits up until about the end of September, maybe the beginning of August.
So do
So,
you expect the temperature to keep going up into September?
I pray not. I mean, I'm not a good person with the heat. Yeah, I'm.
How many months out of the year does it get warm out there in Vegas? Probably 4 months out of the
Honestly,
year? Or five?
about 5 months out of the year, it's hot.
Okay.
And then for like 3 months, it's really cold.
I like it.
And
I like it when
I
it's
love
cold.
it. Yeah, when it dips down to like 5, I'm great.
I've never been there when it was 5 degrees. I think last year the coldest it was below freezing. It was 28, 29 degrees.
There in San Diego or here?
No, in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's a pretty normal thing for it to get below freezing. It's just people don't think about deserts also get very cold. So
That's correct.
they just think deserts get hot.
And then also the deserts, like right now, is this the monsoon time?
Mm-hmm.
Monsoon season?
Mm-hmm.
And last year, you guys got drenched pretty good.
That normally happens about once a year because there's like no irrigation system here.
Wow.
So, well, I mean, to an extent, I get it though. If you live in a city or if you're running a city that only gets about maybe 14 to 15 inches of rain a year, why are you going to spend a lot of money on an irrigation system?
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
Could tough it out for
it's a lot of money.
A couple of days. Yeah.
Well, I was out there working for the company I work for 40 hours a week. I'm an IT guy Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And then sometimes on the weekends when I'm on that call rotation. And actually, I've worked out there in Las Vegas too. So I work for Albertsons, Vons, and we are the company's looking to be merged with Kroger's pretty soon.
I heard about that. Actually, there was a sale. I thought I didn't know it was a merger.
It was a sale to Kroger's, and we will be merging with Kroger's once it goes through the FCC.
Okay. Interesting. So that's going to be, is everybody going to keep their names? Or
I think so. I think they're going to
there's no point in changing the names, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that's a different story. I just wanted to tell you that I work for that company.
Getting off track.
Yeah, we're getting off track. So tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself. You're a photographer. How did you get started?
Well, I actually got started when I was 8.
Really?
And
that young?
Yeah.
How old are you now?
Older.
I'll tell you how old I am.
I'm 42.
Oh, you're young. I just turned 65 in May.
Oh, wow. Well, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
You look good for your age.
Thank you very much.
All right, sweetie.
Hi.
This is my daughter, Pandora.
Hi, Pandora.
Okay, sit over here. We'll get your keys. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But it was back in the 80s. The biggest aquarium in the United States was the Aquarium of the Americas in New Orleans, Louisiana.
So that's where you were living?
From. Well, not New Orleans, but Louisiana. I know my accent is like non-existent. But so yeah, and my mother gave me her camera, which she never used.
Okay.
She was just like, "Here, go have fun, take some pictures."
What type of camera was this?
It was a Canon AE1.
Oh, Okay. That was
Yeah, I
film.
actually still have the camera.
Really?
So yeah.
Do you
And
still shoot with film?
I like shooting with film, but that's more of a hobby photography kind of thing
Yes.
because
Actually, it's harder
digital.
shooting with film.
Oh yeah, and you have to really pick your shots. So, in a lot of ways, I love it, but in a lot of ways, it's like just more convenient to do digital. So that's why I keep the film photography as a hobby, and my daughter likes it. But me personally, I stick with the digital on the professional shoots.
Digital is easier.
So much easier.
So much cheaper.
That too. And I don't have to stop every 24 or 32 shots to change my film. So yeah.
Right.
So that's a big factor. But it's just one of those things where I grew doing it, and then I started having it as something I really enjoyed to do. And there's definitely there's definitely a market for film. So yeah.
That was Catherine's question there. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's just one of those things where I don't focus on it too much because I don't want to be too broad,
Right.
Hold on 1 second, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, Catherine, have you shot with film before? I used to shoot with film probably 20, 30 years ago, especially after I was in high school. Yeah, it's been a long time for me also. So back in high school, it was probably about 40 plus years ago. So I haven't really shot too much since. I prefer the digital. Digital seems to be quicker, easier to edit. Photos come out really great. You can see things in real time, whereas in film, you have to wait to get it developed, or if you have a Lightroom where you can develop it yourself, you can have it done that same day, but that involves chemicals. And I'm not too fond of the chemicals for film. I know that I've spoken to a lot of people that used to develop their own film, and they were saying that they had to eat a lot of oranges after developing the film because some of the toxins tend to get in your lungs, so that can be dangerous. So that's one of the reasons why I stayed away from film and developing. So, Catherine, how's the weather in Canada? Is it under 100 degrees? Yeah. $89 degrees. That's great. That's comfortable, but it's a little warm. Actually, it was 89 degrees a couple weeks ago here in San Diego. It's cooled down since. So you had a heat wave out there, even though you're north of the United States. I thought it would be cooler. I didn't know that it would be warm up there. So today, the weather out here is probably in the 70s. It's back to the normal temperature. The skies are clear, a little bit cloudy, but overall, it's a lot better than it was last month. Last month, it was close to 100 degrees or maybe well over 100, but not as bad as Las Vegas. So you have weird weather out in Canada? It can't be any weird than Las Vegas because like at this time of the summer, they expect monsoons. So, and actually I've been in a monsoon in Las Vegas. I was working at my other job out there for the week. And then on my way back, 2 hours before I was leaving, it just rained constantly for 2 hours. And within that 2 hours, the streets were flooded up to 2 feet. And I had to actually wait a little bit till I was able to get out there to drive back to San Diego. And are you back?
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Emergencies happen, I guess.
Oh,
what did I miss, though?
okay. Oh, I was telling Catherine about how I was there for a monsoon probably about 10 years ago, and and it rained for 2 hours, dumping the water where it was 2 feet, and driving back, everyone was driving in the median on the freeway because the rest of the freeway was flooded.
Well, yeah. People here, they don't know how to react to water. I mean, they're bad drivers.
It's dry.
Well,
it's dry normally.
And they're bad drivers when the road is dry. When the road is wet, they all go crazy. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. So, it's one of those weird things, though, about this place. And in a lot of ways, you can't help but love it. But in a lot of ways, it drives you so crazy. I guess it's kind of like, any relationship that you have.
Yes, there's ups and downs, and things go sideways every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what else you want to tell us about yourself that you want to share with everyone? You were born you were raised in Louisiana. Actually, I've been in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
I went to that area where the streets are very narrow.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect it to be that narrow.
No,
where they have
a lot of the southern areas, very, very narrow streets, and it's made more for foot traffic, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So actually, I had a friend that used to live out there, and he was telling me, Rick, you don't want to be out there during the Mardi Gras time because that's the time when a lot of the thieves are out there, the pickpocketers are out there, and everyone's so close together that it's so easy for the pickpocketers to take things away from people.
Yeah, but that's any crowded area, though.
That's any
totally honest
crowded area.
with you.
You're right.
I'm not going to defend just because it's my home.
Well, let me tell you this before you go on. He's from that area. He lived there for a little bit, just like you. And he was saying, Rick, they go to the extreme where they'll take a razor blade, and if they see a wallet in your back pocket, they'll cut your back pocket just to get that wallet. And then people walk around with blood down their leg.
Yeah. That has happened to people. Not any of my family, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
But
that hasn't happened.
Yeah. I have heard things like that happening because, plain and simple, people don't have perspective on stuff like that.
No.
If you don't want to get caught, you have to do something different. So that's why they come up with different things to do. And the police are very active. Realistically, the police are very on top of a lot of things. They know what to look for. And I've traveled all over the United States, and I've been to Canada and Mexico. And a lot of times, the police won't do anything unless there's a complaint. Really? But New Orleans is one of those towns where the police will go up to somebody and they'll be like, hey, I notice you're walking behind this person and you're watching them. Why?
Good.
And a lot of people think it's rude that the police do that.
No, it's not.
Realistically, it's actually very nice. So, yeah. And people need to realize that when you go to any crowded area, and I'm talking even New York, Chicago, San Diego,
San Diego, you're right. Even in San Diego, I was at a Mardi Gras down here, but I was lucky to be at the top of one of the hotels when I was out there. And actually, it was so crowded down there, and we were viewing people just running around, finding other people at random to hit in the face and knock them out.
Oh,
it's that bad.
Yeah, it happens. So, yeah, no matter where you are, especially once liquor gets involved.
Correct.
So yeah.
So I try to avoid any crowds, even like Comic-Con. Actually, I didn't get a chance to go to Comic-Con this past couple weeks because I had injuries with my neck,
Oh.
and it was bothering me that weekend. So I couldn't even get out of bed. I was kind of holding on to my bed, and my neck was giving out.
You still
It was very
wanted to
difficult.
experience it, but you just couldn't go into it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing?
Yeah. And believe it or not, you know where I got this neck injury from? In Las Vegas.
Really?
So I'll tell you how I got this injury. That state line
Okay, at Prim?
at Prim. It's
Mm-hmm.
not Whiskey Pete's. It's the one across Buffalo Bills. They got that
Yes.
roller coaster ride.
Yes.
So I rode that whole roller coaster ride with my hands in the air. This was back in 1995. And I was going right and left. Everything was fine until that last turn before it goes into the tunnel where it goes back into the casino. It was a massive jolt. And that jolt knocked me this way. And ever since then, actually, when that happened, my neck was sore for 3 months. I didn't go to the doctor till 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I could have went sooner after it happened. But I think in order to correct this, I'll need to have surgery. But I will go getting the surgery at this point. I have to sleep a certain position every night so that it won't bother my neck.
So it left a real lasting impression on you.
It definitely lasted. It gave me an impression that I will not go on a roller coaster anymore with my hands up in the air.
See, I don't think I could do that. So
I won't get on a roller coaster anymore from this point.
No, see, my wife tends to call it I'm too crazy. I call it I'm too exciting. But, you know, it's like roller coasters, jumping out of airplanes, all that stuff.
You have jumped out of an airplane?
I've jumped out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just, I love doing all that.
Like
there was
that adrenaline, huh?
Oh, I love it. There's actually one time, and I didn't tell my wife until afterwards, but we were doing a rolling shoot over on the 15.
Okay.
A guy wanted to get his car driving down the 15, and he wanted to get it in action. I was like, okay, we could do that. The car that they bring up was not a smaller car, though. It was actually like a truck.
Really?
And I was just like...
So, do you need to have a permit to do a photo shoot like that on the 15?
Not as far as I know. That's all I could say. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't ask, and they didn't stop us. So that's the best
you
I
can
could
get
say
away
there.
with it.
And
good for you.
If they were going to stop us, they would have stopped us on this.
Yes.
Because the truck was too high for the actual shoot. So what I did, because I'm one of those MacGyver-type photographers, I had rope in my bag.
Oh.
I got some rope, and I tied it around underneath the seat, the part that's bolted into the car, or truck in this case. And I got another part, and I tied it around my boot. And I told the guy that was back there with me, because I had someone helping me, whenever I start waving my hands around, you just pick me up and don't ask me any questions. And before he said, what are you talking about? I threw myself out of the car, leaning back upside down with one boot holding on to me.
That's
but
scary.
I got some great shots at least.
Oh, good.
But the guy made me sign a waiver where I wouldn't share those photos with anybody. They were I'm terrible with years of cars, but it was a classic Corvette.
Okay.
And he's really paranoid, I guess. But whatever his reasons are, they're his reasons. And he doesn't want me sharing the photos.
Yeah, he can be paranoid because the police, if they get hold of that information, they can probably fine him, put him in jail, or, something like that.
I look at it as I got a hell of a story out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah, stupid
interesting.
things like that, I just love doing them. And afterwards, my daughter asked me, because my wife was just like, "You're crazy. I can't believe you would do that." Then my daughter was like, "Do you realize that if somebody hit a rock and the rock was going towards you, you would have died?" I
Yes,
didn't think of that
she's right.
because I didn't think of it.
You're
And
just
at the time, she
thinking
was
about all
like
the action
12.
and how much great footage you can capture.
Yeah, that's kind of all I was thinking of. But yeah, just stuff like that. Whenever the moment strikes me, I really just fall in love with the photo before I see it, and then I make it into reality. That's how
Wow.
I look at it because my imagination is my biggest asset, as I'm certain you could relate
Well,
to.
that's what makes a great photographer, the imagination.
Yeah, you have
People
to
don't realize
have
that.
it. Yeah,
You have to have that imagination. You want to
yeah.
stand out from everyone else because there's we both have a lot of competition out here.
Oh, yeah.
And in order to stand out in front of everybody, we have to do things differently than everyone
Hmm.
else.
Yeah, you can't just do the same thing everyone else does
Correct.
because then you're just going to get lost in the fold.
Exactly. So you and I want to stand out in front of everyone else.
Definitely.
That's our
Yes.
goals.
Yes.
Okay, so I have another question for you. So you mentioned you have a studio. Is this a studio that you rent monthly, or do you rent it every year? How does
Well,
that
it's
work?
actually a friend of mine's studio
Okay,
that
actually, that's
he
great
rents
to
monthly.
have friends that have a
That's
studio.
so much better. So yeah, he does videography. His name is Mark Weinberger. He has BizSpot Studio here in Las Vegas. And the thing of it is, he gets into, he has a whole setup for everything to do interviews and stuff like that. So it's a great setup, and he just lets me use it, to be honest with you.
Really?
So yeah, he doesn't charge me anything.
That's great.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking about getting a studio, but I'm not that busy yet. And plus, I work a 40-hour job during the week
Yeah, that's
where,
a factor.
yeah,
What
that's a
might
big
work well for
factor.
you is
Pardon
something
me?
called Black Goose Studios.
Okay. Where are they located? In Las
Well, no,
Vegas?
no, they're actually over all over Nevada and California.
Okay.
So yeah. So basically, it's one of those things where you pay a monthly membership fee. It's only like $50 a month,
That's not
and
bad. $50 a
it's
month.
not
Because
bad at all.
actually, most of the studios out here, they start at $100 an hour and go up.
Hmm.
And in Los Angeles, actually, there's some great studios out there in Los Angeles. It's called the Concrete Studios. Have you ever been
Okay,
there?
never heard of them.
The studio that I've been to, they have probably like 10 different studio locations. Not locations,
Okay,
but they have 10 different studios in one building,
in one
and it includes
building.
the
Oh, do they have like
rooftop,
different scenes?
different scenes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have some off the rooftop, and they've rented their studios out to a lot of filmmakers
Mm.
that utilize that the rooftop because it has a good backdrop of downtown Los Angeles.
Well, yeah. I mean, when they were doing that business, most likely they were looking at things specifically like that because you can't really just make an authentic backdrop, an authentic background from a backdrop. It doesn't
Right.
come off perfectly fine.
No.
And especially if they're doing video, there's going to need to be some kind of motion. So,
Correct.
yeah.
You're right on that.
So, yeah.
So you rent it out with your friend, or he loans it to you, your studio,
Pretty
the
much.
studio that you.
And I get
That's
to leave
great.
my equipment there, my whole
Oh,
setup, just the way I like it. So yeah, it's really perfect for me.
wow. So
So
how
yeah,
do you get your leads for photo shoots? Do you get
A
it
lot of
through
different
word of
ways.
mouth? Do you get it through your studio? Do you get it on Instagram? Do you get it by advertising other areas?
Honestly, I get a lot of Yelp and Google action.
Okay.
And a lot of times what I do, I just can't help myself a lot of times, I'll be honest. I'll see, let's say, a family with a baby or a young child or a big group of family together, and I'll just go up to them and, I'll introduce myself as a professional photographer first so I don't come off too creepy. And
Yes.
then I ask them if they have family photos or photos of their children. I give them the spiel about how fast children grow up, stuff like that. Like you had mentioned, you took your daughter to see Deadpool, and in
Yes.
my mind, I was thinking like, daughter, young daughter, but your daughter is closer to my age.
She's
So then I
39
was
years
like,
old. Your
yeah.
age. You're 42.
So yeah, and that's perfectly fine and good. But it's just kids grow up very fast.
They do.
And what I used to have in my house, because my house before COVID, I had a great, huge house, 4 bedrooms, in studio, all that stuff. And there was this one huge wall that I used to have to get on a 10-foot ladder just to adjust the photos of my daughters growing up. And my eldest is 15.
She's your eldest. Huh?
So, yeah, that's my eldest daughter. And the thing of it is, it's one of those things where I just had to work it out because I always loved photography. Ever since I was little, like I was saying when I was 8 years old
Yeah.
on that field
It's a
trip,
long time.
I've just always taken photos of everything that I really want. And that's why one of my taglines, so to speak, is making memories beyond a memory.
Oh,
Because,
okay. That's great.
yeah, it's not just the memory of the photo that we're after. It's the emotional experience that we're looking into. Things like that we really need to have. And, having photos helps people to get through a lot of difficult times because it helps them to remember the good times.
That's
It helps them to
true.
remember times when things were better. And, even behind you, you have a lot of beautiful photos that you've done. And
Yes.
I'm
Actually,
certain there
this one
are
right
times.
here, I took this one from the WPPI back in 2016. It's an
Oh,
old
wow.
photo. Um, and actually, I haven't been going recently because I've been very busy.
Yeah,
How often
the
do you
past
go? Do
2 I
you go
know I
every year?
haven't seen you there.
Do you go every year to the WPPI?
I started about 3 years ago.
Oh,
And
okay.
now I'm going like every year because first and foremost, I just love it.
Well,
You
well,
know,
you're there in Las
well, yeah,
Vegas. It's cheaper for
I'm
you
right
because
here.
people actually have a friend who's in Florida who just came out this year.
Yeah.
And from this point on, I guess he's going to go every single year. He was out
Well,
for the whole week there. Uh, During the convention, he participated in some of the conferences,
yeah, I
and
love the
he stayed
conferences.
extra. Actually, he was telling me when he flew in, he said, Rick, I've flown a lot. I've flown all the way out to London, to Germany, all over the United States, but I've never flown in this type of weather. It was so windy back then when the WPPI was kicking off.
Every
And
March, it's crazy windy over here. So yeah, it's just every single March, you could barely go walking most of the time because the
it's
wind
that
will
windy,
knock
so
you
I
over.
will try to remember not to book a flight in March.
It's gonna be a rocky ride. It's gonna remind you of that roller coaster. Just
Oh,
throwing it out there.
I don't want
Just don't put
to
your arms
experience
out.
anything like
So
that
yeah,
again. But he was telling me, Rick, I thought I was going to die. I said, what?
yeah, it's tough. I mean, people don't realize it, but for some stupid reason, every March, the winds are just
Pick up.
like big time crazy. So yeah,
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but
Okay,
next
I have
year,
something else I want to ask you.
go ahead.
So, what type of photography style do you prefer? Do you have a certain genre
Well,
that you gravitate towards?
I have my preferences.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I love doing collabs with models because we get to have fun with it. You know, it's a
You
whole
know what?
experience.
You're
Hmm?
very lucky in Las Vegas. You have a large
Oh yeah,
choice of models because a lot of models also work at all the casinos doing the
yeah,
shows or working out there
yeah.
in that area.
There's a couple that I've been talking with, and they, without us realizing it, three of them work at the Mayfair Supper Club. And because during the suppers and dinners and stuff like that, they have dancers who are performing. And
Oh,
it's all a dinner and a show kind of thing. And then I was
nice.
DMing with them, and all at once, all three of them DM'd me. And I was just like, wow, that's interesting. And then they all said at the same time, almost in unison, we work at the Mayfair Supper Club, or I work at the Mayfair Supper Club as a dancer. And I was like, okay, I'm talking with two of your coworkers right now also. So yeah,
Okay. Great
so it's
connection.
interesting stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. I've always wanted to work with dancers, and actually, the last model that I worked with, her name is Anna. She was on that first broadcast
Yes,
this past
the
Wednesday.
Kiss shirts.
Anna Lauren.
Mhm.
Lauren. So I was asking her, I said, do you know how to do any kind of dance moves or any acrobatic moves? And she did some moves for me, but I haven't posted them yet, and I haven't had time to go through them and edit them.
Mhm.
But with talking to you right now, I will probably look through it this coming week, and I might post something on that. But
Yeah,
I
that would
do
be awesome.
like it when models do have that acrobatic abilities where
Yeah,
they can dance
it
and they
adds
can
a lot
move
of
the
feel to
movements.
the photos.
They give what to the photos?
It adds a lot of feel to the
It gives
photos.
a lot of feel and flair.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
And I don't
uh,
so great.
I did a shoot last week. I think it was Tuesday night, and I told the people because we got a lot of photos, stuff like that, and we were in front of the Bellagio fountain. I told them just dance, and they were like, "Well, what do you mean? How do you want us dance?"
Regular dancing?
Just like dance. Spin her around, stuff like that, little dip, and those were their favorite photos out of all of them.
Great.
And because they got like 400 photos almost, you
Wow.
know? Yeah, I give all the photos when I do a shoot for clients. I don't see a reason not to,
I,
personally.
I do too. How many do you edit out of the 400, 500?
Well, what I do, I put an auto edit on it,
Really?
and I give them those. That way they at least look nice,
Right.
They look presentable. And then for every hour that I'm hired, I give them two what I call detailed edits. Those are more of the magazine quality that I really go in and I adjust the temperature and I adjust the clarity and the texture and everything. Takes me about 5 to 10 minutes per photo.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah. And if they want more, I could always do more. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yes.
So yeah.
Because actually, as photographers, most of our time is spent editing.
Oh yeah. But I love it though, I'll be honest.
You do? I don't like
I
editing.
love it.
No, I don't.
No, you don't?
I don't because
Oh.
it takes up too much of my time. I'm too much of a perfectionist where it should only take me 15 minutes. It'll take me over an hour because I'm spending a lot of time in Lightroom and Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I'm self-taught in everything that I do with photography. I didn't go to any classes. I didn't take any classes in high school, college, or even WPPI. I
Okay.
learned everything through research and reading
Hmm.
books and talking to people like you.
Sorry, my youngest daughter is right here, and she's like just staring at me.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Uh, no, I get what you're saying, and there's nothing wrong with that because here's the thing. And I have gone to colleges and sat in on classes and stuff like that, and they all tell you the same thing. You always have to find your sense of style.
Right.
You always have to find the way that you are going to not only see the world, but you're going to create the world.
That is
Because,
true.
there's a big difference in 5 points of clarity. Some people like dehazing, some people like to increase the haze. And it's all in our sense of vision. So that's a really big factor. And we always will revert to that
Right.
because that's who we are. You can't take somebody who's left-handed and tell them, no, you're going to be right-handed now. And
Right.
have them feel that doesn't. Why would I do that? That's one of the big things about choosing a photographer because people are going to look at our works. People are going to understand what we do. And you can't ask a photographer that only shoots black and white to shoot color for your event, but you want to hire him. And I know
Right.
photographers that only shoot black and white. That's just their way.
That's their style.
But yeah,
That's their trademark, actually.
yeah. Like me, I try to make one out of every maybe 50 posts that I do black and white. But I always think to myself, I can't make this black and white. I love the color too much. It's
Yeah.
always difficult, but there are some where I'll make them black and white. I think one of my stories right now has a model named Carla, a black and white photo of her. And it's actually interesting because the color photo, her hair is rainbow colored and her pants are tie-dyed. And it's got all these beautiful colors just going all over the place.
Right.
But when I made it black and white, it was just an amazing photo.
Okay.
So yeah.
The only black and white photo I've ever posted was where I took one color and left it to be the center of attention, the focal point.
Yeah, I do that now and again too, mainly with flowers though.
Flowers?
Yeah. When I get some flower photos, I'll have just that one color in there and everything else black and white.
Right. And that will make your photo stand out with that particular item or the subject, the flowers in your case.
Yeah. And that's just what clicks with me.
I love flowers also. Actually, have you ever been to the flower field here in San Diego?
I was about to say,
flower field.
yeah, I saw the flower fields. I wanted to go in, but I had my whole family with me. It would have cost us like $300 to get in.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
And
yes.
They were just like, we don't want to do this.
No, you can do other things that are less expensive.
Well, yeah, that too. So, if they wanted to do it, I probably would have gone for it, but I was the only one that wanted to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, did you ever go to that sphere that just opened up last year?
I haven't gone yet.
I just went with my family a couple months ago,
Oh,
and
yeah?
it was very expensive just to watch the show.
Mm.
And it wasn't a concert. It cost $80 per person.
Wow.
It's a 1 hour show that broadcasts through the actual sphere, and it looks 3D, and the seats go down very steep.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I think it would be great for watching a concert, but I think it was a little bit too pricey for just watching videos.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be something worth it, but at the same time, it's one of those things where, from what I understand, in I forgot what it's called. The area outside the concourse.
Okay.
They have like these AI robots
They
and
do. There's
the
3 robots in
concession.
there where they interact with all the customers.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, things like that. Sorry, she's giving me fruit snacks now.
Oh, go for it. I already had my lunch.
Stuff like that. It's just a unique experience overall. And
Yes.
I know there's some kind of locals discount, but I don't know what it is exactly.
I didn't get the locals discount.
Oh, I guess they don't really advertise it.
No, they don't. They don't.
So yeah, but we'll work out something probably when the weather gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
And my family could do a regular day out kind of thing.
Right. So, but when they first opened in the beginning, it was much more expensive to get in. And plus the parking was more expensive. I was talking to other people. They were telling me that the parking was as much as $50 per car.
Oh, yeah. Most of the time, it's just not worth taking a car.
Right.
You're better off taking an Uber.
Exactly.
So, to get to Catherine's question, though,
yes.
Personally, I always do what I call a pre-shoot meeting. Sit down, talk with the people, whoever they may be, discuss what they want, what they don't want, things that I'm not willing to do. I always refresh people on that because people have a habit of trying to do more what they want, less what I'm willing to do. And my rule is very simple. If I can't show my daughters or my mother, I'm not going to shoot it. Period. And
okay, that's fair.
I think so. But I always want to make certain that everybody knows the situation so we don't have any issues during the shoot. Because I hate in the middle of a shoot, you tell somebody no or don't do that. Because that just kills the whole vibe. Thank you, darling.
No, you're right. And you know how many girls you have?
3 daughters.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. This one here always wants to feed me and do things for me.
Lucky you.
My
girls, they want to do their own things.
Well, yeah, exactly. The elder two, they kind of just handle their own things. Like you saw Pandora a little bit earlier. She was having a bit of a tantrum because she wanted to go in and she wanted to eat her cereal.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but I definitely agree with Catherine, though, about the Bellagio because I generally tend to go there. Like, I went there last week, and that's where I met that couple from Port Arthur, Texas.
Yeah.
And just randomly taking photos for tourists when I got nothing better to do, it's a fun experience, you know?
And they're paying for this, too, so
that's a
if you tell them that you can't do it, do they get a refund or?
Well, that's why I always clarify it ahead of time to let them know I don't do this. Like, this is a first call situation. Or like I told you before, I'll see people randomly and I will talk with them about getting photography. I let them know right then and there that I have one rule and I will not take a photo that I can't show my mother or my daughters.
That's great.
So they know in advance, and
yeah, because
I hate to be that guy.
Because if you're editing your photos there at your home, your daughters can come right up and they can see exactly what's happening. If it's
That's a
not
factor. Yeah. I mean, the bigger factor to me is that my daughters and my mother are my biggest fans.
Okay.
You know, and
you want to please them.
Yeah, go ahead, sweetie. I don't want to shoot anything that I can't show them.
Right.
You know, and the funny thing about that is my wife, she comes up to me a lot and she's like, why don't you ever say you wouldn't show your wife? And I'm like, well, it's very simple, actually. A lot of people look at all kinds of different stuff with their wives and they're okay with it.
Right.
So,
but not with your mother or your daughter.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand. fully.
Oh yeah,
So that's good rules to have.
I think so.
So you said that your mother gave you a camera and you still have that. So I'm
Yes.
sure you've grown with the different models and different makes of cameras. Can you tell
Great.
me and the other viewers what model cameras you currently own and
Well,
use?
I still have that Canon AE1, but I
Okay.
rarely use it.
It's still
I have,
operable.
oh
You
yeah,
could still put film in it and it'll shoot. Okay.
yeah. It has its own little case and everything, but most of the time it's just on display and
Okay.
it stays there because I don't want to put that thing away. That thing needs to be
Right.
shown.
That's memories.
Exactly. I have two 70Ds that I just like to use
Okay.
because largely in
Canon?
part because
That's Canon.
I'm a Canon
Oh,
guy.
you are.
All of them. Yeah, total Canon guy. Canon lenses, Canon body, just Canon all over the place. And I really like the flip out screen that those have. Thank you.
So you don't have any issues with the flip out screen messing up where the connections start loosening up and
I've
you have
never
to
had a
take it
problem
in?
with it.
No?
God bless you.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been using the 70D since I think 19.
Really?
And yeah, that's pretty much my go-to.
Yeah.
And I have one Mark V D4.
Mark 5D4. So that's
Yeah.
the newer one than what I have. I have a 5D Mark III.
Okay. So, and 5D Mark III is still good and very similar to
It's
the
a
Mark
workhorse.
IV. Yeah.
It's a workhorse. Yeah.
Yeah. This one here, though, I kind of pampered a little bit because that was my gold camera for the longest time.
Okay.
And it's like now I'll go ahead and when I shoot a wedding, I'll have two cameras on me. And the main one I use is the 70D. But then whenever, like, first dance, whenever the bride and groom first enter the reception,
Right.
whenever they're saying their vows, the bigger moments, I'll use the 5D. But for the majority of everything else, I'll use the 70D. So yeah.
Okay. Is it easier for you with the 70D because you're more familiar with it and feel comfortable?
That's a big factor. I'm more familiar with it. So yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay. So I'm a Canon guy too. I started out with Canon, but I've worked my way through Nikon and also the Fujifilm, which I praise 100% out of all my cameras. The Fujifilm that I purchased was back in 2022, and this was my first medium format camera that I purchased, and it's phenomenal. I can't say anything bad about it. It's 102 megapixels. So
that's pretty good right there. That's a lot more than the Canons.
It's actually what compares to this camera is the what do you call it? The Hasselblads. And the Hasselblads are very expensive. I can't afford any of the Hasselblads. They start out anywhere from 10,000 going up to 150,000 just for the bodies alone, without the lens.
Like Leica prices.
Oh,
or that might be more than a Leica.
These are more than Leicas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wow.
Those type of Hasselblad cameras are mainly used for advertising, film, mainly advertising. The advertising where they do a lot of detailed photo shoots and billboards. Because with medium format, that's one of the biggest sensor sizes out there.
Okay.
Did you realize that the medium format is bigger than the medium form, the
full frame?
Full frame.
I've heard about that, but I didn't look at it a lot, to be honest, because it's like right now that's a little out of my.
Yeah, it is pricey,
but
even for me. But I wanted to get a current camera that was high in the megapixel, something in the medium format, and it was mirrorless too. So that was my first mirrorless camera.
Okay. See, I don't focus so much on the megapixels. I focus more on the sensor size. So,
well,
yeah.
That's important. Well, the megapixels come also with the sensor size too.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah,
Actually,
I mean, they go hand in hand.
When I was reading last, there was a Hasselblad that was 150 megapixels. And guess how much that one cost?
Probably as much as a house.
It's almost as much as a house. Almost, but it was like 150,000. This was
oh my
probably
goodness.
2 or 3 years ago when I was researching that.
150,000?
For a 150 megapixel camera.
That's almost 2 houses in Louisiana. Because average house price there is like $75,000 for a house.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, I would say probably in the 80s and 90s, the homes out in Las Vegas were probably about that price.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Back then,
the prices have gone up.
Oh, everything has gone up.
I've owned probably 4 homes here in San Diego and Orange County, and I can't afford it anymore. In San Diego, you have to make at least $271,000 to be able to purchase a home, a medium-sized home out here. And
well, I know the cost of living is really high up over there. But it's gorgeous. I mean,
it's nice, but you pay for everything else.
And you're always in 70 and 80 degrees.
Yes.
It never really gets hot or cold.
Exactly.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah. Whenever we went over there, some clients, they wanted me to go over there because I had done their wedding over here. And, you know, they paid for our room and all that stuff and gave us spending cash. And it was great. So, yeah, it was a great experience. And the room that we got had a fridge because we were going to be there for like 4 or 5 days.
Right. So
we go to the market and we're getting stuff. And I'm just excited because I'm going to get to go to a Safeway because I love Safeway. And my wife is like, what's the big? You're not even from California. What do you care about Safeway for? I just do. Nobody knows why, but I know why. I'm not telling anybody. And it was like, I think, $6 for a gallon of milk.
Wow.
And all
you
of
were up
my...
in Northern California. It's expensive up there.
I can imagine. Huh. Go ahead, sweetie. But the thing of it is, it was just like, we literally were standing there looking at the milk, and we were like, this is... I don't want to sound cheap or anything, but this is like really expensive for milk.
Yes.
And me and my kids, we take down a gallon of milk every 2 days.
Wow.
So yeah, we just love milk.
Yes.
You okay? Sorry, she's feeling a little attention.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. That's pink. But so but that's kind of how I've learned to judge the economy and the cost of living at places.
Yes.
Don't go by gas prices, go by the milk price. Because I know some friends of mine in Hawaii told me milk over there is like $10 a gallon.
I can believe that too. They have Safeways out there in Hawaii.
And over back in Dallas, it's only like $3.50 to $4 for a gallon of milk.
And it's less expensive to live out in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a good way to range, the economy, how expensive it is where you're going to.
The cost of living and all that stuff, go by milk. Just forget everything else. Go by the milk.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So when you're going to these photo shoots on the Strip, do you bring extra lighting with you, or do you bring just the on-camera flash?
I use my flash, but I put a diffuser on it because
it's easier to carry around, just that
so much. Thank you. And whenever I'm walking around to these people and stuff like that, I don't want to have a whole setup because I'll be totally honest with you, and I've never had this problem, but some friends of mine have, because one of my friends, he was so proud that he just bought a new strobe. And he went and he bought it, and he brought it with him. And he was coming to do shoots on the strip. Just same thing I was doing. And he was going to set up and all that stuff and everything, and he was going to have the people come to him instead of him going to the people.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, that's great, but be careful, man. You know, watch out. And sure enough, after a couple hours, somebody tried to run off with his strobe. Yeah. And he went and ran after them. And they got the strobe, and they just threw it behind them, and it broke.
Wow.
And he spent, like, I think $600 on that.
Wow. That's,
so, yeah.
That's scary. And that's one of my fears here, too, because actually a lot of my friends were telling me, Rick, you need to protect yourself when you go out to these photo shoots, because there's people that will track you down and see somebody who's doing a photo shoot and try to rob you in your gear.
Yeah.
So I advise all you photographers out there, whenever you're out on your own, just be careful, because people can. You have to be. Yeah. You have to be prepared.
I mean, it's like 3 things you have to do. 1, you have to have your insurance set up. 2, you have to always be mindful of your surroundings.
Yes.
And 3, don't carry more than you have to. Because what I used to do, I used to carry like way more than I needed in my bag, just because I might need it. But then after a little while, I kind of was like, you know what? I don't need to carry all this. I could just bring, like when I'm shooting on the strip, for instance, I'll just have the one body and the lens with the flash, the diffuser, and that's it.
And that's safe to walk around with.
Yeah. I don't need all this other stuff.
Yes, because once you have your back turned and your gear's behind you, with all the people running around,
anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
I mean, it's not likely, but there's always that chance somebody could just undo that zipper. And by the time I realize what's going on, they might already have something and be running that way. And I see them, and it's like, I'm not going to catch that guy. You know? Unless my name is Carl Lewis, I'm not catching that guy.
So, like last week or a couple weeks ago when I did that photo shoot out there in San Clemente, there was a lot of foot traffic going towards the beach and where we were taking that photo shoot. I wanted to break out my LED lights, but there was just too much traffic where I didn't. And I had it on a wheelbarrow cart, which I had Ruth attending, or if she was doing the photo shoot, I was attending. And a lot of money was in that cart, and anybody can just walk up and grab things while we're busy doing the photo shoot.
I mean, you have to be mindful of that stuff because, and I know this isn't the direction we wanted it to go in, but the way the economy is right now, people are desperate, you know?
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
And even if somebody knows nothing about photography, they know that it's not cheap.
Right. Exactly.
So that's the one thing everybody knows about photography. And if you see, let's say, 100 to 400 millimeters telephoto lens,
you know that's not cheap.
Yeah, we know that's $2,500.
Correct.
But to them, they're just like,
I can get rid of this for $200.
Yeah. And no exaggeration, I just remembered about it a few months ago, maybe in April. there was some guy that I saw on OfferUp, because I'm always looking on OfferUp and stuff like that
Okay.
to see if I could find a deal. And this guy had a Canon 50mm L lens for
Wow.
$50. And I was just like,
They definitely don't know the prices. No.
whenever I messaged the guy about it, I had to ask him, did you steal this? And he was like, no, I didn't steal it. I'm a professional photographer. Really? So tell me, what does aperture mean?
He didn't
He did
know.
not reply.
Right.
He
There
did not
you
reply.
go.
So yeah, but it's like, my wife told me, why didn't you just buy the lens? What's the big deal?
It's
I wouldn't want
very,
somebody doing that to me. You know, karma's gonna get me.
yeah.
So yeah, I just couldn't do it.
Wow.
I wanted to, I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Interesting. No, I haven't seen a deal like that in San Diego here.
No, I think even the people trying to get rid of something are still gonna ask about at least $400 for that lens. So yeah.
So I got another question for you. What's the best advice you can give to other wannabe photographers that are just starting up?
Well, two things. One, and the most important in my opinion,
Okay.
don't give up,
Right.
no matter what. Because there's always going to be somebody that's going to tell you, don't do it. There's a lot of people that do that. They're better. Look at you're not going to compete with this guy. No. There's a boot for every foot. There's a photographer for every person. Okay? Everybody has their own style. Yours is different from mine, and that's okay.
Right.
You know, theirs is different from ours, and that's okay.
And that's what makes us unique.
Exactly. If we were all uniform, then we'd have standardized
It'd be
pricing.
boring.
So yeah. So that's one thing. And another thing is keep looking at the world through your eyes, not anybody else's.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of people that they're like photography students, stuff like that. They call me and they say they want to do my editing or they want to take some of my shoots and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I can't let somebody else do my editing because then
It's not
I'm not,
you.
yeah, I'm not really being a photographer there. And secondly, my shoots are my shoots. It's not that I'm holding my money. It's that these people have seen my work and they hired me based on that.
Right.
So the most I'll do, and I have done this a few times, is I will take on a shoot knowing that I'm booked somewhere else, and I'll have somebody else shoot the photos, but I have to do the edits. So
You'll have to do what?
I have to do the edits.
Oh, okay. So you
So
do
yeah,
the edits.
I have to do the edits.
Okay.
So yeah, you can't give up on something that you really want to do because, I mean, you're a great example of this. It's an excellent side hustle, at the
Yeah.
least.
It's an
So,
excellent
yeah.
side hustle. The thing
So,
is,
you
some people can make a living out of this. And
Yeah.
from what I was reading up on it, people who work for CNN Sports,
Mhm.
they hire a lot of photographers, professional photographers throughout their sporting events, and they can make up to anywhere from 100,000 to 150,000, depending on how seasoned
good.
you are as a photographer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not everyone.
No, and that's definitely not typical either.
It's not typical.
Yeah.
So with my side hustle, I do a majority of engagement photo shoots and weddings.
Mhm.
And like yourself, I do enjoy model photo shoots.
Yeah.
I like directing the model to do different poses. that are unique. And like I was telling you, I like dancers because they can do the poses that are totally different than regular models, which I like.
Yeah, like there's one model who's not from here. She's from Utah. She's a ballerina.
Oh, I've never worked with a ballerina before.
Well, yeah. I was just speaking with her about doing a shoot, and she just said, I'm tired of doing the same kind of shoots and all this and all that. And I was like, okay, well, how about if we did this? And it was just off the top of my head. What if we have you just standing there in a coffee shop with a cup of coffee on your leg, and you drinking a cup of coffee while you're looking out of a window? And she was like, that sounds so different.
It's not used to that.
It sounds fun, but it's just not what I'm used to. Well, you just said you didn't want to do the same old thing, so this is different. And she was excited for it. So, she hasn't came back to Utah, and I haven't gone there yet. But whenever we're in the same area, we're definitely going to be doing that shoot. And I would rather do it there because we can get some nice mountains with snow on them, stuff like that.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Wow. Your last name is similar to Jason Lumier.
Okay.
But yours, how do you pronounce your last name?
Lumier.
Lumier?
Yeah.
Is that French?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So is both your parents French or one side?
Actually, neither. My parents are both Romani. It's just,
Romani.
Yeah. You would know it as gypsy.
Oh, okay.
But we really don't like that word because it's actually a slur, believe it or not.
Okay.
That's the only one that a lot of people know. So Romani is what it actually is.
Okay. I've never heard that before.
A lot of people haven't.
Yeah.
So yeah. But if you search it up through history, there's been a lot of mixing. Like we were in the Holocaust. We were all over Europe. A lot of us still are in Europe. And then there's a good amount of us here in the United States. And the whole situation of it is we get to the point where we switch around our names every couple generations.
Yes.
And my family figured, since we're in Louisiana, put something French. So they just put that without even knowing what it is, which is funny. Because if you translate my names into English, Angelo Lumier, it actually comes to Angel of Light. And I was like, well, thank God you guys didn't name me Angel of Darkness. So, yeah. I already did it like an hour ago.
And also they named an area in Louisiana the French Quarters.
Well, yeah. It's a huge following over there because basically I looked at it not long ago, and the majority of the United States secondary languages, almost everywhere, it's Spanish. And then in Louisiana, it's French.
Right.
And it's like I was thinking back, and I was like, well, yeah, I mean, pretty much all of my friends and I even spoke French when I was younger. I haven't done it in a long time, so I kind of lost a lot of it.
I just took a class in high school. I don't remember anything other than that.
It's actually funny because I was speaking with somebody at a meeting not long ago.
Okay.
They're, I speak French too. Je m'appelle French. And I'm like, you just said your name is French. And they're like, did I? Yes.
They definitely did not know what they were talking about or speaking.
I tried to make it subtle, but yeah. So, no, but it's just one of those things where we tend to do things like that because our bigger focus is blending in
Yes.
and not getting so much attention drawn to us and stuff like that.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah, so
now that you've been broadcast here with me on Instagram, the broadcast channel, I will be streaming our live video on YouTube as well, because
awesome.
with this Instagram broadcast channel, it's very, very long, especially our conversation on this interview. I'm not sure what the time is right now.
I think we're close to an hour and a half, actually.
Oh, really?
I didn't think so, but then my wife was like, because, see, she's standing right here. Okay, she doesn't want to be on camera. She was like, it's 4:30. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm having a good conversation with someone, it doesn't seem like I'm talking very long.
I thought it might have been 30, 45
from the
minutes
start of this conversation with you, this interview, it probably seemed like more like a half hour.
Yeah. Because it just, speaking with somebody openly and freely,
right,
is not something that we get to do as much as we would like.
This is something that's different from the ordinary.
Yeah.
And even myself, I do live broadcasts on Instagram, but not all the time. And actually, when I talk to different followers that I see occasionally, they'll ask me, how come you haven't been doing any more live broadcasts? How come you're not doing any more behind the scenes? And I tell them that I wish I had an assistant who can do all this, because it's very difficult to do everything as a one-man band. As you know,
you only have two legs. I have two
legs, two hands, and then I can't be watching my phone where I'm doing the videography behind me if I'm in a crowded area. So it's very difficult. And I try to bring Ruth with me to help capture some behind the scenes, and she does occasionally here. And then I also share with her some time so that she can do some photo shoots with me as well, because everyone wants to take photo shoots. You know, they all want to be part of it. I understand, but I try to do it when I can, but it's difficult.
It is. You know, people, a lot of times, because people only know their perspective,
right,
they automatically think something is easier. It's like, I was at Panda Express the other day talking with the lady, because I talk a lot, as you might have noticed.
Good.
And she was saying, yeah, everybody thinks our jobs are so easy. And I told her, I used to work as a server, and the job itself is tough, but what makes it really hard is the people that you have to deal with. Because these people are getting angry at you because their food didn't come out right. But we put the order in right, the cook messes up, who gets the blame for it? The server. That's what makes the job difficult. And as a photographer, you know, we got a lot of people that, I think you said you have like 7,000 people on your Instagram account following you.
Right. Yeah.
And I have 5. So people don't see all of what has to go into making these videos and these photos and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, that's kind of why I do the little that I do, to show people the other side of it. Like my bag. If you go to my Instagram account, on the highlights, one of the highlights is my equipment. And that's basically what I tend to carry. And then on my stories, I'll put the behind the scenes, stuff like that, talking with this person, went to see this person, a lot of random going out and meeting people. There's always different stuff going on. And it's like, I will never get rich off of photography, and I'm fine with that.
As long
but
as you're happy at home with your family. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, my goal goal is to be happy with what I'm doing. And I like the idea of having my prices where I could feasibly, although realistically I'll probably never do it, if I could do 100 shoots a year, I would be so happy. And, and that's only like 2 shoots a week, realistically. But if I could do 100 shoots a year at $1,000 each, I'm making $100,000.
Yes. That'd be
And
good.
it's like, then I'd have time with my family. I'd have enough money to sustain my family and going out and stuff like that.
Right.
And I wouldn't have the difficulties of missing out on my children, stuff like that, whatever, because my daughters are 4, 15, and 4, 14, and 15. These are very pivotal years for me,
Right.
with them. Because next couple of years, my elder daughter, she's going to want to go out into the world and figure out her own thing. My younger daughter, she's going to be with me for a long time. And my middle child, she's got her own stuff going on, but I don't think she'll be leaving me.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where the world will never be the same as it was yesterday.
Right.
And that holds true every single day. So yeah, we just have to roll with the punches.
No, you're right about that. Family should be first, and then everything else is secondary.
Yes.
You can always find another job. You can always find another photo shoot, but you can't replace your family.
Yeah. I mean, even whenever it came into the book of Job, and you could cut me off if you don't want to talk about that.
No, that's fine.
But
Go ahead.
it like took away his house, took away his livestock, took away his money, took away everything. And most people are like, okay, well, whatever. But then when it gets to his children,
he says
that's
no.
the part that everybody is like, no, can't do that.
Right.
That's too much.
Right.
And it's like, I have 2 sisters. Neither one of them have children, but they still have the value of a family. And that value means that you need to have that. You can't have that taken away, and you could definitely never have it replaced.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's the thing that people need to come to understand. Because through the difficult days, like I was talking about my picture wall earlier, through the difficult days, you look back, my photos, if there's a photo of me anywhere on that wall to be found, it has my children.
Okay.
And it's like when we went to Disneyland and I was holding them on my shoulders.
Right.
Or whenever I was swinging them around on Santa Monica Pier and it looked like I was going to throw one of them in the ocean.
Oh.
Or something like that.
Well, you need to post more of your family and you.
Well, that's on my personal account. I honestly don't post any children on my social media for my professional photography. Because plain and simple, I have 5,000 followers.
Yes.
I'm not comfortable putting children in front of 5,000 people.
Right.
So,
I don't do it either.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people who have kids, if you want, I'll put you on my website, but I will never put a child on my social media page. But,
okay.
Yeah. And some of them are like, well, why not? Well, 5,000 people. It's safe to say that a couple of them are not the kind of people I would want children in front of. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because the world is the way the world is. So, yeah.
It's different and crazy out there.
Yeah, it's not like when we grew up in the 60s and the 80s.
No.
The world
is much more safer back then than today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I totally agree.
So, but either way, we're doing what we love, and thank God that we get to do it.
Yeah.
Because I can't speak for anybody else, but if I didn't have photography in my life right now, I probably would have gone crazy already. But yeah, plain and simple. it's a great outlet for me.
It's a
It's
great
the best
outlet.
therapy I could imagine.
Yes. So, in closing, do you have anything else more that you would like to say to me and the other viewers
Well,
here on the broadcast channel and YouTube?
well, to you, I would like to first apologize for last week. I wasn't able to make it, and I'm glad everything worked out. You know,
That's fine. Things happen. Things come up, and I understand. Things happen
well,
to me
thank you
too,
for that.
and I have to make changes at the last minute notice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And plain simple, I
So that's
did
why you're
really
back here
enjoy.
today.
Yes, thank goodness I'm back here today. I did really
So
enjoy speaking with you,
I enjoyed speaking with you too,
and
and I'm glad we had this conversation. And actually, I did have some idea what you look like, but now definitely I know who you are.
now you definitely know. So yes, but if it's not summertime, normally there's a beard here. Just to
Really?
let you know. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just it was way too hot before, and now I'm just keeping it clean because my wife hates it. So yeah.
Yes, it's kind of scratchy on her face, right?
Yes.
Because most of the time I will go for days without shaving myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I shaved for today for this interview with you.
Yeah.
But I do like to walk around, and I do go to photo shoots unshaved.
Well, yeah.
So you might see some posts sometime
Mm-hmm.
where it looks different.
Hey, we're behind the camera, so who really cares?
We are behind the camera.
So yeah.
The camera doesn't take all the photos, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you again for joining me from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, it was definitely a pleasure. I look forward to seeing more of your works, and when you come to Vegas, hit me up.
Okay. I'm coming this week, but my wife has some engagements with some of her friends meeting us during the week, but I'm sure down the road I will definitely hit you up
In time,
and we will talk more.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, I'll drag you up to WPPI. But yeah.
Well, I'll do that with you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, from San Diego, California to Las Vegas, Nevada, Angelo Lumier. Is that correct? Or Lumier?
Lumiere.
Lumiere.
It's okay. Everybody says Lumiere. So yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your evening in Las Vegas, and we will see you soon.
Yes, it's my pleasure. God bless you.
God
Have
bless
a good evening.
you and your family. Stay safe and cool.
Oh, yes. Staying in the air conditioning. Yes.
In the air conditioning. I will be in the air conditioning all week, too, down there.
You have to be. Yes, definitely.
All right, Angela. I'll let you continue your day with your family.
Okay.
Enjoy.
I'll speak with you later, Rick. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.